What's going on, guys? Kellen here at Dream Media Home Theater. We are out here at CEDIA 2024. Beautiful event, first day. We're at the main, I would say, showpiece of the entire event. This is the Trinov sound room with Per Listen, Barco, MadVR, Kaleidoscape, Seymour. There's a lot of great brands here. I'm standing here with MadVR, and Richard, you're gonna walk us through a little bit more. Absolutely, absolutely. You're gonna walk us through, kind of where's MadVR, how successful you guys have been past couple of years. Tell us about anything maybe that you're working on that you're announcing at the show, which I don't think you are, maybe not. And then tell us, how you've implemented MadVR into this main sound room here.
Yeah. So thank you very much. It's always great to have you guys out to see us. We're back here again in this crazy theater setup that we have here. We're also in about a dozen other rooms throughout the show, including the new MB Core is both here and in another place as well, over in Sound Room 7 for anyone at the show that wants to go check that out.
I know you guys have a lot of units out in the wild now.
Yeah. So, you mentioned about our history. So Chronic first came on the market about 5 years ago. We've been on a pretty good trajectory. You talked about successes. We're really proud. We were just named to the Inc. 5000 fastest growing private companies in America list. So that was really exciting. And, we're now in over 40 countries with distribution and customers. So we keep growing, the team is growing, and it's been really exciting. We're giving the customers what they want, and most importantly, we're giving the dealers also what they want. You don't always get the same for both.
Yeah, absolutely. Been on the tail side of that story a bunch of times. So, and I know we're gonna make a separate video discussing your newest product, more of an entry-level price point core. I know that's going to be wildly successful, if not already seeing kind of the early success on that, even though it's not technically out yet. I'm sure the pre-orders are pouring in. I know they're coming in from our side. So we're extremely excited about that product. But yeah, tell us a little bit more, I guess, how you have implemented the MadVR today with the Barco projector that's in the Trinov sound room.
Right, so why don't we do that, and then like you mentioned, we'll cover some of the other kind of hero features in the product. Okay, so here in the sound room here, we're paired with a Barco Nethrus. So that's really cool. You've got a lot of tremendous brightness. That projector's really a beast. I mean, if you just saw how they got that thing into place. So that's been really exciting. We basically are doing all the HR tone mapping, the aspect ratio management, some motion AI for specific scenes. And so it's really been a great pairing. You mentioned things that are new at the show. So leading right into the show, we introduced our new controls. So we can replace a control system for things like communication with the AVR, communication with your display, and communication with screen masking. Okay, so control systems are great. We have direct IP native control support for Crestron Home, Crestron, Control4, Savant, RTI, all the major ones.
Right.
Okay, but if you are more at the DIY level or enthusiast level, a smaller project, you may not have the budget or the desire for the more complexity that comes along with that. Or even integrators, sometimes those systems involve a lot of programming and time. I'm sure I don't need to tell you this. And so being able to do things like control screen masking directly from the MB is huge. Right, so you go to the menu, hit find, it'll find the screen masking. Right now, we initially launched with 5 and there's more in development. And so the MB will automatically move the mask based on the aspect ratio without you having to do that. For talking to displays, HDR versus SDR, if you wanted to use different settings for each, very easy to do now. And for AVRs, so some AVRs don't have an on-screen volume. Well, the on-screen volume display messes up the aspect ratio management. So the MB can overlay its own aspect volume. So as you control your AVR's volume, you can turn off that OSD, or if it doesn't have one, it won't be there and you can't see it. The MB will overlay that and give you that nicely without any control work at all.
Awesome.
So that's really a cool thing.
Cool feature. Yeah. And that came free with software update.
Yeah, it's just an update like everything else. We just push it through. We also, now you asked about the main features of the MB. So for hero features, I'd say Motion AI is huge. This is the world's first AI-based motion interpolation in the dedicated video processor. This is huge because motion interpolation has been around for a long time, but a lot of people don't like it. and it's a dirty word, right? Though they say, oh, they're going to turn these things off the first time when you first see it. Oh, so we talked about Motion AI. So Motion AI is the world's first AI-based motion interpolation in a dedicated video processor. Right? We're using AI to be able to do this in a way that's never been done before. And motion interpolation is kind of a dirty term sometimes in the industry. People are like, oh, that's the thing that we all turn off on our TVs the moment we get it.
Got a ton of person made a whole video saying, turn it off.
Exactly. And that's because of the implementation. They cause their own issues, motion artifacts, tearing, judder, these types of problems. But they also have a very strong soap opera effect. So we set out to create ones that could be used responsibly to just a touch to undo some of the motion blur and judder that today's modern technology displays add on their own on top of what the director may have intended.
Yeah.
So then we also, of course, have our upscaling. We're still watching a lot of 1080p in the US.
Right.
Blu-ray collections, broadcast TV, cable TV is really not always the best quality. We don't really get 4K content from that. So having the ability to upscale that in 4K and hand that to the display really gives us sensation.
I think that's one feature that, the nonlinear stretch, the dynamic tone mapping, if you're talking about the extreme, the motion AI, I think the upscaling is one of my favorite features overall, because I do watch a lot of like UFC fights and everything like that. And so whenever you're watching live content, broadcasted content, most of the time, like you said, it's going to come in at a lower quality. And when you're blowing it up on a 150, 175 inch screen, you're going to start to notice those little differences. And so I say the same thing. I tell everyone, it's like, when I was watching The Last of Us on HBO, we took out the MadVR because I had to send it to a content creator partner of ours, and we were without it. And so my wife was like, something just doesn't look right. And I was like, she didn't really know it was the MadVR, but she could tell that something was missing. And so that was pretty crazy. And the tone mapping for sure, and just being able to upscale the resolution a little bit to tighter tolerance. You can pick up on that.
Yeah, no, that's
once you've lived with it, you take it away, you're like, dude, this doesn't look good.
Some people say, well, you ruined me with your demo. I'm like, yeah. But that's really a big thing. You mentioned HDR dynamic tone mapping. We're widely recognized for having the best tone mapping in the industry. That's really been important. My partner was very much involved in all of that, coming up with first frame-by-frame dynamic tone mapping.
Right.
So that was really pretty cool. And then we also do things like subtitle management.
Right,
Like no one else is doing, where we can dynamically size the black bars and move things around, because on a scope screen, once you zoom out to fill your screen with your lens memory, your subtitles now are going on the bottom, or on the closed captions are going to the top. So it handles all that stuff, and we're actually working on a new feature called Dynamic Subtitle Overlay that should be available soon. It's another free upgrade. And this will allow you, we will basically do a copy and paste. We will extract the subtitle out of the embedded area of the black bar and put it nicely right into the image without having to move the size of the image around. So we're really excited about that coming up.
Yeah.
We also have our nonlinear stretch, which is really huge. The nonlinear stretch allows you to make great use of scope movies on a 16:9 screen. So with the new core at $5,000, we're seeing a lot of pre-orders being paired with TVs. And one of the big benefits is when you have those giant black bars at the top and bottom, you can cut those in about half and not even tell that it's being stretched, and really create that level of immersion.
Yeah. No, I'd use that. So I'm currently using a 16:9 screen in our theater, and I do that as well. I cut the top and bottom bars about 30-ish% with minimal cropping and everything like that. It looks great, and a lot of people don't even know that we're doing that. They're just assuming that it's the streaming ratio, smaller black bars anyways. But yeah, I really appreciate taking the time to walk through. We're super pumped to get in there and see and hear this thing. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
We're super excited to get in there. If you guys would like to learn anything more about MadVR or anything home theater, video, or audio related, feel free to reach out to Dream Media today. Like, share, and subscribe to today's video. We've got a lot more MadVR content on our channel as well, so check that out if you're interested. But again, this is Kellen with Dream Media, here with Richard with MadVR, and we'll catch you in the next video.